Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 79 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined today by a very special co-host. Welcome, Jackie Pruitt.
Hey guys, hey Amanda, so excited to be here.
We are excited to have you. I said to Chris Lewis before we recorded the show, I said, should we keep her a surprise? She goes, no, it's Jackie. So we are not keeping you a surprise. We are thrilled to have you. While your husband is out fraternizing with the instructors, we get you.
Yay! So much better than going and hanging out with all of them, right?
For sure. I mean, come on, to be able to report everything that's happening on in the Peloton world. I mean, what better thing could you do?
I know.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. And I was really excited when John said that you were excited to co-host with me. So, all the more power to us women. It would have been fun if it was, International Women's Month, but we'll go for an arbitrary day in April.
Absolutely, every day is International Women's Day, in my opinion.
You're
so
right.
Let's go.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Well, we've got lots to talk about. So, folks, before we get started with the news, we'd like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button at the bottom right-hand side of the video and the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode. If you prefer to listen to us whilst on the move, every show is available in all podcast platforms. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV and hit subscribe. And as John reminds you each and every week, leave us a review. We do like to hear what's going on and what you like and what you don't like about the show. I am back down in Florida, so the sound may not be perfect. Hopefully it will be, but we have an awesome setup now in Maryland. So we kind of have to improvise when I'm down here. But always leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And then finally, guys, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Twitter. Just search for Pelo Buddy, follow us on all of those platforms for all of the latest news. And now, Jax, let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, folks, it's finally happening. The studios are gearing up for opening day. This past week, we saw a slew of new studio-related job openings for both the New York and London studios. Most of the job postings are pretty predictable, such as studio facilities lead, hardware technician, and concierge experience. However, there is one especially interesting posting for an events coordinator position in the UK studio. So it seems that this role primarily will be around arranging group classes. The job description states that it will include organizing group classes for Peloton cycling, tread, and yoga studios, as well as manage the group bookings calendar for all studios. The employee will also be responsible for acting as the on-site person for larger group classes. The UK-based studio concierge position specifically mentions that the role will assist the group booking and events department with any member-organized meetups at Peloton studios. Jackie, my bags are packed and I'm just waiting for the green light. But in the words of Ed Sheeran, take me back to London.
I am so excited. London is actually my favorite city in the world. And John and I are just that's one of our top places. Yes, we cannot wait.
I know. I wasn't more excited about whether the studio was opening and we could go be there or these positions. And I looked at my husband and said, any chance we can relocate to London? Because this job has my name all over it. And I would absolutely, I mean, if I lived in London, I would be applying for that position. I
Oh
think it
my
is just going
gosh.
to be the most, I mean, is it not going to be the most amazing, amazing role?
I mean, can
Um,
you imagine? Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
I know, I know. But the good news is, I think what I really took out of all of this, and is that they are definitely looking at bringing in groups. At it's not as if they're trying to shy away from any of that. They want it to be organized. So I love that. I love that that's something, because they never really had that to this extent when the studio was open previously. It was kind of that
Yeah.
registration process, and if there was a big group, you could kind of get in contact with somebody, but it was always a little bit harder to try and get a big group to all work out at the same time. So I'm sure New
It's
York will have a similar thing, right?
It has to, right? And I think it'll be just such a great thing to be able to have this big group come in and just have the ability to work out together. I mean, I can't even imagine, like, it's like I can't even remember what it was like to have people in the studio when I
I
took a
know,
class. Like, it's
I
gonna be
know, I
so
know.
fun.
I
Ah,
mean, it is going to be fun, and I know there are a lot of there are a lot of folks out there that are a little skeptical. The ones the
yeah.
newbies are a
Yep.
little skeptical as to whether or not this is going to work or not. But I have no doubt that this is just going to be amazing. Well, folks, all jobs can be found on the Peloton careers page. So if you head over to pelobuddy.com, there is a link right on there for you to be able to take a look at what's being offered. So
So
exciting stuff.
exciting.
Yeah. So what's up next, Jax?
All right. So this is like my favorite story of not even just the week, but probably of the year. Jess Sims running the Boston Marathon. Like
Oh,
that was I just nobody knew about it. And I think that's why it was so
yeah,
so special. And when she posted on her Instagram, and I don't know if you saw it, Amanda, but I'm sure
I
you did,
did.
her video. Oh my gosh, like cue the tears. I was just bawling. So for those of you that have not maybe been living under a rock, Jess Sims ran the Boston Marathon in honor of her new friend, Michelle Blackburn, who was actually feet away from when the first bomb went off 9 years ago. And she
Oh,
was severely injured. Actually, almost the doctors thought they were going to have to amputate her leg. So she was actually a spectator cheering on one of her best friends. And every year, the people that were involved in that horrific tragedy are offered a spot to either run or to gift it to somebody that can run in honor of them. And she emailed Jess Sims. Like, I get goosebumps right now. I don't know about
me
you, but
too.
just
Me too.
talking
Oh my
about
god,
it.
my hair is literally. I mean, I've read the article. I've seen Jess's, and still, as you talk about it, my hair's
Yes.
standing on end.
I know, mine too. And so Michelle emailed Jess back in December and just shared a little bit of her story. I mean, even the fact that she did that, I think is so
Right.
cool. And the article talks about how Jess remembers exactly where she was in the locker room, surrounded by other Peloton instructors when she read it. And she like just stopped still in her tracks. And my favorite part was that she immediately, her gut was, I'm going to do this. And then about 5 seconds later was like, wait, no, I can't. I've never run more than 8 miles. And she's like, and that was one time. So she started getting fearful. But then what was so cool is that she and Michelle became such, they had a 2 hour Facebook call to kind of, not Facebook, what is it?
FaceTime.
FaceTime call to just chat. And they were just like kindred spirits right away. And just, Michelle was like a training buddy, virtual training buddy with her. And what was so cool was that Michelle wrote her a letter. And Jess said that she wasn't going to read it until she needed to read it. And she read it on the bus to the start line. And I'm going to cry. And that's when she found out. Sorry, I'm like, so John would never, she's like,
I
oh my God, Jackie, you're embarrassing me already. Um,
no, I'm right there
but
with you.
that's when she realized, Michelle told Jess that she was going to be at the same spot that she was 9 years prior to cheer her on. And it was just it was such a special moment.
And she had never been, right? In the
Nope.
last 9 years, she had not been. This was the first
She
time
had
she was
not been
going
there.
back to that place. I know.
God, can you
Amazing.
imagine? And
No.
it just and what I just think is so special is that they kept it to themselves, like of
Yeah,
course Jess could
yeah.
have gone out and shared all of this right away. And I just think it's so it's just such a character moment, and I loved it. I love it so much.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
seriously one of my favorite stories ever. I'm a
No,
big Jess Sims fan, by the way.
I
She's my
know you
favorite.
are. I know you are. I mean, I don't work out with her much, but I do, I do certainly follow her, and she's amazing. I mean, she is amazing. And I have to say, I think what moved me the most was exactly that. She didn't broadcast it. She just did it.
Mhm.
She just did
Yep.
it. And, I was appreciative of Kirsten Ferguson for sharing kind of along the way. And we kind of knew it was coming. So I was appreciative. And obviously, they went together. For those of you that aren't, that didn't know, Kirsten actually went with Jess and kind of was her buddy for the race.
Yes.
And it was lovely to see her, sharing that. So we kind of had a suspicion that this was happening. But I loved the fact that, Jess just waited until she actually was in front of Michelle and got to see. Amazing story. Amazing story.
And Jess said, they're sisters for life now. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, isn't that just so special? So special.
Yeah. It is. It is. I mean, look, these instructors, we put them on a pedestal, and we think,
Yep.
you look at them as celebrities, but ultimately they're you and I, and they are truly amazing people. Think about everybody you work out with and how they've all changed your life. And I mean, I know from my
Yes.
perspective, we have our favorites because they have literally changed our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And they're real people. And that's what I love so much
yeah,
is Jess
yeah.
admitted how fearful she was and all the doubts that crept into her mind when she thought about doing this marathon. And I think that was such a cool thing to be reminded of. Yes, we think of them as these like amazing, and they are amazing, but we put them on a pedestal. But at the end of the day,
Right.
they're human beings that have fears and all the things.
And I think truthfully, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Here is a Peloton running instructor. I mean, bootcamp running.
Yes.
And even she was nervous. And I share that because I had set myself a goal to train for a marathon. And I had signed up for the Shape New York Marathon, which was a couple weeks ago in New York.
That's so
And I
cool.
just wasn't ready. I just knew that I wasn't ready. But I think what made it okay for me was hearing what Jess had to say, because here was an instructor that I would have thought, no, no skin of her back to be able to do it. And even she was anxious and nervous. And I knew that I wasn't ready. My body wasn't ready. I needed way more training before I could attempt to do something like that. And it just put it all into perspective for me too. So I took a lot out of the
Yep.
story. There was a lot out of the story.
Yeah, it's so cool. And Amanda, you're going to be ready like the next, it's all about the training. I think I read it in the article. I can't remember where I saw this now, but basically just what she did was she looked back at her training and she was like, I'm ready. Like that training was her evidence. Like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Just like
Right.
Jess says, line them up, knock them down. And that's what she did.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, certainly a heartwarming story that we can all hang on to for a long time. And I'm glad you got to share it, since Jess is one of
Thank
your
you.
favorites.
So special.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh.
So for all you rock fans out there, Peloton's new Rock 22 series and challenge has your name all over it. The new series is featuring legendary rock artists with over 100 new classes being offered. I think this is the biggest launch of classes in a series that that Peloton have done. According to Peloton's Instagram, the Rock 22 collection will feature following artists: Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, Fall Out Boy, Jimi Hendrix, Lenny Kravitz, Paramore, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weezer, and so much more. It is going to drop over a 3-week period. It started on April the 16th. and it will run for 22 days through to May. There will also be a flash challenge. So first up, for if you're kind of heading for gold, if you want to go ahead and gold, you need to complete all 22 days of the challenge. So you would have had to start back on April 16th and have done one rock class every day in order to actually hit gold. If you hadn't started back on April 16th, you still have a chance to earn silver. So silver will be taking classes over 15 days. And if 7 classes is all you can manage, then you will go ahead and get a bronze badge. So there's something for everybody. Hopefully, those of you that are, our badge loons that want to make sure they get everything, you were able to start back on April 16th. There are so many classes. I am not going to even remotely attempt to list them, but if you head over to pelobuddy.com, Chris has them all listed on the page with the Rock 22 story. So you can certainly go over there and pick them all up.
Oh my gosh. And who's your favorite from like the different artists that you mentioned?
So I have to be honest with you, and I'm embarrassed to say I am not a rock fan. I am just not a
Amanda,
rock music
I'm
fan.
not either, actually. And that's typically why there's a lot of instructors I don't take with, because a lot
Me
of times
too.
they're more rock heavy. But I do have to say, and I don't know if it's just like, songs have such a way of taking you back to like that moment when you first heard them. So Def Leppard, for whatever reason, is that artist for me. Like
Okay.
I will be taking whatever, is it themed or like they rock like artist themed? I don't even know.
I think some of them, I think they are.
Okay.
So I think some of them are themed. So it's like all the music from, for example, like Paramore. It was all, all Paramore songs.
Yes.
Or Red Hot, So Red Hot Chili Peppers is one that I like. I do like Lenny Kravitz. I'm starting to learn a little bit. I mean, as you folks that watch the show know that I'm a huge Leanne fan, and she'll do an 80s rock or a 90s rock, and I don't mind those. But I'm just never been a rock fan, so it's a big deal for me. I did do Kendall's Paramore, Lightweights and Arms the other day.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I did because Paramore is my daughter's favorite band, so she
there you go.
absolutely loves, and she, in fact, she's down here in Florida with me, and she got on my bike to do the Paramore ride, and Bradley Roses has a 20-minute Paramore ride, and I was so excited.
Did she love it?
She loved it, and it was 20 minutes. So she said,
fun.
"You know what, Mom? It was perfect because it wasn't too long. I was able to manage it, and I was just excited that she got on the bike and she rode."
How fun!
So,
Is that one of her
I
first
know.
times riding? Does she ride often?
Nope. One of her first times riding. So
special. That's
she's
so
done.
cool.
She liked Wicked, so she's done the Wicked ride. She's maybe done a handful of rides. She uses the platform for her yoga and meditation and that type of thing. But no, she's never been a big cyclist. So it was really fun for me. So yeah, I was excited about that when I told her, and I said Paramore. She was like, "Oh my God, Mom, that's like," and I didn't know. I mean, I don't know what the kids listen to. But yeah. So that sounds like they put a lot of effort into that drop of that series.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So fun. I love that. I love those themed things,
Yeah. I have to say, me too. I mean, if it's one that you can do, then yes.
Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, my favorite themed ride of all time is Greatest Showman. Like I've taken that probably 18 times. Like that ride is everything.
And in fact, you know what, Jackie? That was one of the ones she did as well. She loved the Greatest Showman ride with Robin. So those are, I think she did Wicked, Greatest Showman, and now Paramore. So we have to find more.
Oh, so fun. Those are good choices. Good choices.
Exactly. All right. Up next,
We have the split strength program. So as you guys know, the strength programs for the guide, there's been a lot of exclusive content just for people that have the guide, and then of course for those of us that don't, like me, much to John's chagrin, we don't have one yet. We will be getting these. They're just on a delayed release for us. But there's a split strength program now available for people with the guide, and this is Peloton's first ever strength connected product. And this platform, the strength training schedule, is essentially to help you go ahead and specifically target certain body parts. So not just upper body or lower body, but even more specific for that. And it's the intent to really build muscle. It's probably what like the Peloton instructors do, right? All the time, but we aren't necessarily privy to it. So now we really get a chance to take these programs and have the ability to, even, they have the off day, and then they have the, the arms and like all these things. So it'll be really cool to be able to train with, I think it's Matty, Robin, is it Callie and Adrian? So, it'll be really great. And all of I keep wanting to say shows. All the classes are 30 minutes, except for one. Callie has a 45-minute class. And they're all going to be, they're streamed. You're able to actually, if you don't have a guide yet, you are able to use the links on the program pages to start a class from a web browser. And you can add the class to your stack, and you can complete it on your bike, tread, or app. So, you won't actually be able to earn the badges if you don't have the guide, but hey, at least you get to start taking these awesome split strength classes. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. And for those of you that love or are loving all the new boot camp that have been dropping over the last few months, Selena Samuela announced that she will be offering a boot camp, and hers is titled "Rock the Boot Camp." So with that rock theme, yeah. So right in there with the rock theme, she took to Instagram, sharing the news after she'd actually spilled the beans in one of her live classes. It was last Monday. I know. And then she, her IG post went on to say, that she was bringing a rock-inspired bootcamp series to the Tread, stating that members will rock their body, rock their core, and rock their legs, creating the best badass version of themselves. So the first class drops tomorrow, Monday the 25th at 9:30 a.m. And the good news is that it will likely be added to the Rock 22 collection, and should count towards the challenge. So it's great with all these new, and it's great with all these new boot camps. I have to say I'm loving Rebecca's hiking boot camp. And this may be a good one. This may be a good one to try with Selena as well. So that's kind of fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Rebecca's boot camp hikes are incredible. I mean,
amazing.
We need more. Like, I'm like, can we do it every week? Like every other week?
Right. Because now it's every other week, right?
Yep.
She's doing
it's every other week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it's basically once a month because John and I fight over it. So we have that sign up list that Rebecca refers
exactly. I love how she referred to the sign up list. I know. Well, I don't think you have to share it with the Selena one, because John always admits how he's not thrilled about strength. So
that's true. That's true. But strength is good. We need to do more of that. At least I'm talking to myself.
I'm right there with you. Believe you me. I'm right there with you. All right. Next up.
All right. So Christine has a new reflection series, which she has done before, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah,
I think she has.
She has.
Yeah.
And it's back.
Yeah, it's back, and it's a four-part series of mindful rides. And my favorite part is that, this is where you just turn off the numbers, you turn off the metrics, and you just tune into yourself. And I think, one of the criticisms that like so many people outside of Peloton, like all the other, Soul Cycle and all that, they love to talk about how we just like think too much about the numbers and we're not just tuned into ourselves. And while they can say that, at the end of the day, it's always our choice, right? We can always turn off 100%. The numbers, but I do love that this is really like giving us that permission to turn it off and learn how to listen to our own bodies and recognize, I mean, sometimes I do that and I'll turn
Yeah.
it off and then I'll put the resistance and the instructor will say 55 and I'll think I'll get it there and I put my number back on and I'm really close, so it's
Yeah.
cool to recognize, like, you guys, we are doing such an awesome thing with this with this platform, and we get to tune into ourselves and a story we'll talk about in a little bit, but just talk about just like tuning into our own bodies. And we're not
Yeah.
exercising for a punishment. We are working out for our self-care. Robin says it, all of them say it all the time. And
All the
that's what
time.
I'm so excited about this mindful series. And each ride is going to focus on a part of her mantra, right? I am, I can, I will, and I do. So I can't freaking wait.
Now, I have to say, I have always ridden with Christine when she puts out this type of thing. So, I
Yes.
remember her. I remember her doing a 9/11 ride that I was just
Ugh,
sobbing as I was riding
yes.
with her.
Same.
I've done some of these more meaningful rides with her, and look, she is a force to be reckoned with. She is the most incredible, strong, unbelievable, cyclist, and having her
Yep.
bring that other side of her, which you can absolutely get. You just can get her deepness that she'll bring out in a ride, is going to
Ugh,
be
so
amazing.
good.
So
Oh,
I'm
it's so
looking
good.
forward to, when is it dropping? You know what? I didn't look as to when it was.
That is
It's dropping up. It dropped on, Thursday. So I just got from control room. It dropped on this past Thursday. So they're all out there. Yep, that's
that is
that's definitely
so
rides for this
fun.
weekend. Oh, just one has dropped right now. So that's definitely going to be a weekend ride for sure, for sure.
Oh, it's so, I
And
mean, I still remember there's one cool down class of hers. It's a 10-minute cool down. I'll have to look at the date and get back to you, but it's one of my favorites. I mean, she just talks about like, I mean, Christine just like can't do any wrong, and she
yeah, I
just
agree.
is
I
such a
agree.
heart. I love it. I mean, it'll be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so talking about good and everything good in the world, Friday was Earth Day. And so the 22nd of April is International Earth Day, and Peloton celebrated it beautifully. They dropped the first ever scenic meditation class taught by Mariana Fernandez. Mariana had actually shared on her social that she was most grateful for the opportunity to experience the elements and scenery with Mother Earth by doing this meditation outside. She went on to invite members to meet her in the heart of Puerto Rico. In the and I'm going to probably butcher it, but Yunque National Forest. I think I got it right. El
Oh, you
Yunque
killed it.
National
That was great.
Forest. Oh, awesome. See, being down in Miami, I got it. I got it. I'm speaking so much Spanish down here. And it is a 10-minute meditation that she dropped. She did say that it was a privilege to film the first scenic meditation outdoors. She also shared, which I thought was the coolest, some behind the scenes of the filming. And it looked absolutely spectacular. It was, in the forest, there was water. It was just stunning, stunning, stunning. So I cannot wait to do that one.
Oh, it's
I
going to be great.
haven't yet. And then there were quite a few other classes. So Mila Weerkant also, Weerkind, I should say, also had an Earth Day class. She did a live ride in German. That was at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. And then a yoga flow with Nico Sarani, a meditation with Kira Michelle. And for all of you that were looking for more outdoor walks, Selena Samuela dropped a 20-minute outdoor walk. So that's what we had at the time of recording. And we're really excited that they have brought something so spectacular to the platform. So looking
Oh my
forward to
gosh, I'm so
that.
excited for that meditation. I think like being able to bring like that visualization into it is going to be so
Right?
cool.
Amazing. And she's amazing. I mean, Nico is fantastic. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And then on a different note, a few days before, on Wednesday, some of you were a little frustrated as members experienced some technical issues with on-demand classes. So classes were freezing or locking up. Peloton did come out with a statement acknowledging that there were issues and that they were monitoring it. It did seem that it was rectified quite quickly from what we understood, but just wanted to make you guys aware that yes, there was in fact a little glitch on Wednesday and that it was fixed. So
Isn't it so fun? It's great. I mean, like you get that validation, like, oh, it's not just my bike.
Me.
It's not just my Wi-Fi. Thank you.
As the wheel of death, you get on and you see that wheel of death going. I mean, everybody hates it. So
oh my gosh.
And look, you got to expect it. There's things that are going, that'll happen, and technology is still technology. It's not perfect. So
one of my favorite things, I'll be upstairs, in our house doing whatever, and all of a sudden, I mean, I won't swear, but John will yell out an expletive, and I'm like, oh, something must have happened. Maybe the wheel of death is there.
Right. I'm telling you. Oh, it's so frustrating. Yeah. All right. And more clothes, huh? More drops.
I mean, that's the joy, right? We maybe have the annoying things with the internet glitches, but hey, we have new Mother's Day apparel, and it was dropped, I think, on Tuesday. And you got I can't even, when I saw the IG post with Kirsten and her kids, her two little girls. Adorable. I cannot even. And she even shared a behind the scenes with her girls getting ready, their hair and makeup done. And I mean, seriously, it was so cute. And I love how Peloton brought them into the photo shoot and really just, celebrated moms. And, they even have a maternity legging and a maternity tank top, which I'm not sure if they've had before, or maybe.
No, it's new.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's amazing. So cool. Yes, I love that. And if you were on it and were able to buy that day, I think it was Tuesday, you may have gotten an awesome deal, because if you spent more than $150, you got 30% off. Who does not love a sale? Nobody.
Yep. Amazing. I know. I'm telling you, Jackie, these drops, and there was a really cute, I don't know if you saw, there was a cute sweatsuit.
Yes.
Of course, Kirsten made it really cool, and she cropped it. She had hers cut, and cropped it. But there was some cool stuff on there. And I have to say, those two girls of hers are just the sassiest, cutest two. I love how she brings them into her IGs and how she shares, because you know what? We are all moms at the end of the day, those of us that are moms, obviously, and it's nice to be able to see the instructors just have the same normal crazy households that, you and I have.
Yes. I love it. And I love how she shares her, I mean, when you take her classes, she very openly shares different things about her life, and a lot of them do, right? And I think that's just, again, just a very special thing that, everybody, makes Peloton special, it's
right.
It's so cool. But, I'm very excited about the crew sock that was dropped. Crew socks are in. I don't know if you know that, Amanda. I'm sure you do.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I got to go back and
all
right.
Crew socks are in, and I started sporting them a month ago, and I have to say I am a changed woman now. And so when I saw the crew sock on there, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be buying a lot of those crew socks. So get your crew socks, guys.
Is that it? Right? That's the look. My goodness. I don't know if I can pull crew socks off though, but okay.
You can. You can. Send me a picture. I'll cheer you on.
That is too funny. That's too funny. And then the last bit of news, we learned that on Friday, the Q3 earnings call will be held on Tuesday, May the 10th at 8:30 a.m. And it's going to be a pretty busy week for Peloton, as that's the weekend that kicks off Homecoming 2022. So we'll have to get onto the call at 8:30 that Tuesday and get to hear what they have to say, and then forget everything they have to say and just go into homecoming weekend and enjoy every last minute of it. So
Oh my
my
gosh, I
hope,
cannot wait.
my hope is that they announce the date of the studio opening. I mean,
They have to. They will.
I
like
think
that.
so.
They
I
have
think they're
to.
holding
They're
off.
totally
I
going
think
to.
they're holding off. You know, they say the summer, so it makes and the rower, yes. So those are the two things that we're all waiting to hear. I mean, there's no question that I think the rower is going to be announced, but so those are two big things. Those are two big things. So whether
Are
it's going to
you a
be
rower?
earnings
Are you
call,
excited?
you know something, I used to row years ago in the gym. I mean, I got to talk 25 years ago. And I said to Mark, I said, there's a spot for it. And I said, I'm just warning you, I'm getting it.
So you're like
So,
John, because John is so excited about the rower, and
I am.
like the rowing is hard, like
Very.
no
But you know what?
joke.
But you know why I like it, especially since I'm so bad with the strength, with the strength training. I love the idea that my arms will get, that additional workout in the workout, when you're working out.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I'm very excited, and let's just wait and see. But there's lots to look forward to next month. So
So exciting.
yeah. So I guess that wraps up the news portion of the show. Next up is instructor in the news, and I will kick it off with the main man, Alex Toussaint. Oh my God, Alex
best.
is the best. I mean, seriously. So he shared on his IG page this past Wednesday that it was a really exciting milestone day for the Do Better Foundation. So Alex grew up, for folks that are not aware, in a military family. His father was in the Navy and his uncle in the Air Force. And he has always, been abundant about showing the love for the people who have sacrificed to protect our country and, that are out there. So in honor of his uncle, MSGT, I wasn't sure how to, Major Sergeant, maybe MSGT. I think it may be Major Sergeant. So
Yeah, I think
Ronald,
that's right.
Major Sergeant Ronald Toussaint, and in support of Air Force Aid Society, the Do Better Foundation donated 2 Peloton bikes to Joint Base Andrews training facility. So Alex shared that his last name means everything to him, and he was honored to have had the opportunity to pay respects to the veterans out there. So he was at the ribbon cutting ceremony, and it was amazing to see. And now those folks that, didn't have access to bikes on their own can use it at the facility. So
So cool.
really
I
cool.
love that. He's
Really
he's
cool.
like seriously such a good human.
Yeah, yeah,
The best.
amazing. And then Camila, did you get Camilla's story?
Yes, Camila. So Camila Mariana Ramon, she is if you don't follow her on IG, it is time to start, because she is so inspirational in many ways. But one of the ways is she is, a steward for body positivity. And again, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, being able to exercise not as a punishment, not because you ate too much yesterday, but because you love yourself. And she regularly posts about like the relationship between, with healing your mindset with exercise. And I love how she talks about like the diet culture and how toxic it is. Anyway, so she is a huge trailblazer for the body acceptance movement. And there was a whole article written about her, and it was so cool to learn kind of just about her history.
Yeah.
She grew up running and dancing, but what I thought was so cool, and it reminded me a lot of Robin, was that she put kind of that passion aside, and she got a normal, regular, everyday job in international public relations. And then one day she just said, you know what, sitting behind a desk is not for me. And when she and her husband moved to California, I believe, speaking of military, he is in the military or was, she began teaching cycling classes in LA. And she recognized that there was a huge gap in the market where nobody was really talking about training to develop a positive mindset in relationship with exercise and with themselves. And so she developed her own, which was so cool. She developed her own platform for training. And then she got a Peloton bike. And she got a Peloton bike and she started just taking the classes just like you and me, Amanda. And she just fell in love. She fell in love with the instructors. She fell in love with just the whole vibe and heart of Peloton. And so just like Robin did, she cold emailed Peloton and just said, I want to be part of this. This sounds amazing. And she said that in the article, it mentioned how she was, again, she was scared. She didn't, we all have those moments, right? Where we're like, God, I kind of want to do that, right? And she knew that if she didn't email them, she would always regret it. So she did. And now here we are. And she is just an awesome instructor. I've only taken a few classes with her because admittedly, I'm very stuck in my own ways of who I like to work out with.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are guilty of that.
100%.
But yeah, I took a class with her and I was like, this woman is freaking awesome. And I can't wait to take more. And after reading this article, especially, like, she just stands for everything that I love and I'm super excited. So
well, it was kind of cool because Benny Adami was just in New York. He was down for the Easter break, and as John, I'm sure, has told you, we've become quite friendly with Benny. He's divine.
Yes.
But he had somehow connected with Camila before, and they've really bonded and have an amazing relationship. And he's done now his second Latin ride, and he said it was totally Camila inspired. She was the one that had given him, all the songs. And I actually ended up downloading that playlist of what he'd had on his first Latin because the songs were just phenomenal and not understanding. So it was kind of cute knowing that here we have a Spanish speaking instructor, a German speaking instructor, and we've all said music is magic, right? And it's all about, and it's all about the music. So yeah, I mean, just awesome. And, huge shout out to Camila. I mean, really huge shout out to Camila. So that's great.
She's amazing.
Yep. And then lastly, an article in the New York Times titled Breaking Up with Peloton. The article shared that how at the peak of the pandemic, Peloton stationary bikes were definitely a winner, but that some fans are done working out at home. So, Jackie, I am not sure whether I can be friends with Christy Falzone, who was quoted in the article, but she said that during the pandemic, her Peloton was a godsend as she would exercise every day in her spare room without worrying about other people's germs. But she says lately the spark has gone and put her bike up for sale on Facebook Marketplace and sold it for $1,100. And I got to tell you, I found this article to be quite frustrating. Because Peloton's concept, way before the pandemic hit us, was specifically to allow people the ability to work out from home and not have to worry about heading to the gym. And those folks that only bought bikes or treads during the pandemic clearly were not meant to be Peloton members anyway.
Right.
And I feel very strongly about that. I mean, this article, as I was reading this article, my blood was boiling because I've said it over and over again. I mean, even when the stock crashed and even when things, kind of went haywire, a couple months ago with Peloton, everybody lost sight of the fact that this was a concept way before a pandemic hit. And we specifically got into the Peloton world for reasons, which aided, it helped Peloton that a pandemic hit and people were now able to get their, work out from home and do everything. But if you haven't drank the Kool-Aid, you haven't drank the Kool-Aid. So,
They
Christy,
weren't
all
even
the
here.
more power to you. But I got to tell
Exactly.
you, you're not my friend.
Well, it reminds me of what we say on The Bachelor. They weren't here for the right reasons. So, like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. But we
Yep.
are not,
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere.
100%. So I got to tell you, for me, the whole concept of, of this was, all right, fine. Then, break up with your bike, go sell it because we don't want you on the platform anyway. And you're going to be a hater. You're going to find things wrong where it doesn't matter. The sky was falling and we still were like, Peloton's fantastic. And we were out there. I mean, arbitrary people would come up to me and say, you heard about Peloton, right? You heard about, and I'm like, so? Like, what
Yeah.
does the one got to do with the other?
Right.
Look
Yeah.
at me. Look what it's done to us. And, what you had said, what Camilla's bringing out to us, what Christine brings out to us for our mind, for our body, for, it's not all about the weight loss and how fantastic you look. It's about the community. It's about the
Yep.
friends we've made. It's about the connections we have. And if folks are just focused on the fact that they are stuck in in their bedroom working out, then go be in the gym and go with all the other stinky, sweaty people and do your workouts there.
Well, they're working out for a very different reason than we do, right? They're working out just to sweat. We're working out because of our self-care, and it's just a different mindset. So they can have the gym. Like, that's fine. Sell it to a person that's going to actually have their life change. So more power to them.
100%, 100%. Well, that wraps up that part. Now we are going to talk about our picks of the week. And I got to tell you, folks, I am not sharing any of my picks of the week this week because I have been down here with my kids. It's been really amazing. And I have gotten in a workout, squeezed in a workout here or there. But, I kind of zoned into my favorites. So between Leanne and John and Aditi, that was kind of what I was doing this week whenever I could find like a few minutes to myself. So I am not going to bore you with my picks of the week, but we are going to roll right into the picks of the week that all you guys have submitted, and there are lots of them. So I tell you what, Jackie, why don't you start off with yours, because I know you had a pick of the week, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of run through the list, and you and I can just flip flop with the list. So you go with yours, and then I will take Jen's, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So my pick of the week was Rebecca Kennedy's hike, because honestly, I cannot get enough of her hikes. They are awesome. And of course, I got to have the tread because John's gallivanting out in New York. So it was an amazing, honestly, it was one of her hardest hikes for whatever reason. I don't know why, but 30 minutes. She played a lot of, I think, 80s from what I remember now. It's like all a blur. I probably blacked out, but it was so good. Her hikes are awesome. The output that you get on a hike is unlike anything else.
Yeah. So I
actually have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
I forgot. I totally forgot. I was thinking about it today. Allie Love did a country ride. I think it was on Sunday, and it was the first ever pop country ride, which was really cool. And I don't know about you, Amanda, but I do love country, but I love like the new poppy country.
Me too.
Oh, so it was like
Me too.
It was awesome. Take that class if you haven't yet. It was really fun.
And it was just 20 minutes. Did you say it was a 20-minute class?
Was it 20 minutes? I think it was 30. I think it was a 30-minute.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll have to take a look at that. All right. And then let's see what we have here. So first up is Jen Sherman's 30-minute My Mixtape ride. It was from the 14th of April at 5 p.m. Eastern. And Kathy M19 said, just such a fun ride. Great playlist, and listening to her talk about her rink in New Jersey brought me back to brought me back to being a kid in the 80s and being at my roller skating rink. I don't ride a lot with Jen, but for some reason that ride appealed to me and it was really great. So Kathy M19, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Yeah.
So fun. Well, like we mentioned earlier, Bradley Rose did a Paramore ride. There was 20 minutes. Your daughter took it. She loved it. And yeah, and let's see, where do I find who said that? Let's see.
So right underneath, you'll see there. So we have Melissa Giggles. I'll go ahead and say them for right now. So it was at 7 a.m. Eastern time on the 16th, and folks that had recommended it, and there were lots of them. The comments were great energy with the combo of this instructor and this music. And Melissa Giggles, Win Guardian Kitty, EOP3. Georgie Says, Munchie Mom, Matt Moon, Shan Spins, Tommy Vismoms, Hit Spins, and Tam Might all recommended this ride. And you know something, Jackie, I say this to John each week, but now I understand why some of the instructors have such a hard time doing shout outs, because some of these names are so hard. And can you imagine? They're sweating, there's sweat dripping down their face. They're seeing this tiny little screen to the right or left of them that they have to read out these leaderboard names. I can only imagine. And now that there's so many more members, how hard it must be. So,
oh my gosh, I know.
If
you did a great job, Amanda.
Well, thank you. I hope I didn't botch any. So next up is Jess King. She did a 30-minute hip hop ride from the 16th of April. It was at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. It was full of explicitly raunchy songs. And the two members that had recommended this ride as their picks was Nurse Corrine and Jax Mannequin. So thank you for that.
So fun. Well, Daniel McKenna, I need to take his class. Apparently he's freaking incredible, but
so hard.
He did, oh my gosh, he did a 20-minute system of a down run. Oh my gosh. Daniel McKenna did a 20-minute system of a down run on the 17th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And it was apparently the perfect class after the previous week. I don't know what that means, but really great. And that came to us from day 610.
Awesome. And then it looks like Eric Jaeger had a 20-minute System of a Down ride. It was in German, also the 17th. It was at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And Ratchy, Miriam, and But Make It Sassy all took this and recommended it as their picks of the week. It said, so cathartic, felt like an angsty teen again. So that was kind of cool that Eric got a shout out there.
So fun. Oh, well, my core is still sore. Rad Lopez did a 20-minute core strength also on the 17th. Apparently that day was amazing at 9 a.m. Eastern. And Purple for My Girl recommended this class. It was hardcore and she felt it for 2 days. That's the best kind of core class.
My core is hurting just knowing it was 20 minutes and it was all core and I didn't even do the class. So.
Exactly.
And then Natasha R. Sawyer recommended Adrian's 30-minute legs and shoulder strength class. That was from the 18th. It was at 7 a.m. Eastern. And they said this was day 2 of Adrian's 5-day split program, Killer Leg Day. So they must have the guide and had recommended that 30-minute legs and shoulder strength.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine how hard that was. That dude is a beast. He's so hard.
Beast. I know.
Oh my gosh. All right. So Kendall Toole, 20-minute Iron Maiden ride. I didn't take it. Kendall admittedly scares the bejesus out of me.
We said it together. She scares the bejeebus out of me too.
On the 18th, also at 8 p.m. Eastern, she did that ride. And let's see, Victoria XOX, Ed Burton Brown, and Andy Joe 2634 all recommended it. The energy Kendall makes you feel while basically dying. Yeah, for sure. I never thought I could go above 80 in cadence with a resistance of 50. That's exactly why I don't take her classes. That sounds crazy. But if anyone looking to push a little harder, take this class and her 10-minute Paramour
Which I
arms.
did.
Say that
And
10 times fast.
Yeah, I know. But I got to tell you, that Paramour, we spoke about it earlier, that Paramour arms was death. And I was actually down in our gym, and the smallest, lightest weights they had were 5 pounds.
Oh
I
God.
thought, oh my God, because usually I do 3. On the back of my bike, I have 3 pounds, and those are like perfect for the light arms and weights. Oh my goodness, Jackie, I could not wash my hair for 2 days. My arms were so sore. And again, I don't do strength often. So, I got to up my strength game. So, crazy.
Well,
crazy.
I need to take that because right now I'm doing Tune Days, like arms challenge that, I don't know. So we take 3 classes a week, and I kind of want to cheat on it for a minute to take that one because that sounds awesome, but I might just have to wait.
All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe add it in as a 4th one. All right. Let's keep going. Allie Love, 30-minute 2000s rock ride from the 19th, 6 a.m. Eastern. I'm loving Allie coming back and doing these classes, and she is giving everything. I mean, each week people are recommending her classes. So she's really into it. She hasn't showed any signs of fatigue. She's doing so amazing in going back and forth between London and and the US. And we had tons of people recommend that class. So Melissa Medeiros, Work, Breeb 31, RSA 21, T Baby, and Mel Black 80 all recommended the class, and some of the comments were best of the month, great music, challenging and fun.
So fun. Well, I can't imagine how tiring that is to go between the two, but way to go, Allie.
That's awesome.
I
know.
She's doing it. All right. So the next one is Callie's class, 30-minute Paramour Bike Bootcamp. That sounds awesome. That was on the 19th at 12 Eastern. And let's see, Christine Hosanna, Emmy Thomas 1, and Gina Bina all recommended it. Said the playlist was awesome. Callie's energy made the workout so much better. Her energy was infectious. Her energy's always great. Lots of energy. Callie's awesome. The music flowed well with the class. Just a great way to get excited for the rock challenge. She's big on BYOE. I've not heard that one. I've heard Robin's BYOS, BYOE, bring your own energy. And that class was that and more.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? I love that.
She bounces off the walls with all her energy. All right. And then next up, John Husking. I always like to see others recommend John on there. Rodney French and Ren Rad Mama. It was his 30-minute 90s run. We would love a 90-minute run if Peloton are listening. Or would we? Oh my God, I think we'd die.
I don't know. I'd die.
But John's 30-minute 90s run from the 19th, it was at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Great playlist and climbing those Spanish hills. So one of the things that John does, Jackie, which is so cool, is he tends to take us with on a trip. So he had just come back from a trip with his guy friends to Spain, and he had us hike up those Spanish hills. So that really was an awesome class. It really was. Yeah. All right.
Oh, I love it. Well, Camila had a 45-minute pop ride in Spanish, which how fun. One day I can understand it, but that's about it. On the 19th as well at 8 p.m. So Pelo for Cafecitos recommended this class. Cleaning staples in a Latin household. Lots of Francis and work put in. Hit PR while listening to the music I grew up listening to and cleaning. So apparently you can ride and clean at the same time. I'm not really sure how that works.
All right.
I don't know.
No. I think she said that she grew up listening when listening and cleaning. So
Got it.
That's what
I'm
said.
like, wow. I mean, John eats on the bike. Not sure how you can clean on the bike, but okay. All right. Learning something new.
Yeah. And Pelo for Cafecitos is so lovely. So I'm so glad that she loved that class. And then
Aw.
Ben Aldis did a 20-minute Def Leppard upper body strength. It was from the 20th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And my friend Daisy Mack recommended that. So Daisy Mack, Judith STL, and Miss Sarah Beth got up at the crack of dawn for Ben's strength Def Leppard class because this 80s girl wasn't missing it live. His class plan was on point, and that had to have been Daisy's comment. So that's awesome. Every song was a banger. If you're a Def Leppard fan, it's a must because the playlist was amazing. It was so hard to not sing and dance while trying to do reps. So that's awesome.
Love it. I can't wait. I definitely got to take that one. I do have a spot for Def Leppard, so that is going to be on my list.
Yeah.
So Tobias had a German 20-minute Def Leppard run, which was also on the 20th at 9 a.m. Eastern. And Fleetwood Mom recommended it, said that his excitement was great, especially during one of my favorites, Photograph.
Yep.
Yes, love it.
Cool. That is cool. And well, you didn't say your leaderboard name. We'll have it on there, but you recommended Rebecca's. So
Yep.
that's on there. You want to go for Susie? Go for Robin's? You go ahead and
Yes,
do Robin.
Robin had a 45-minute Hidden Hills ride on the 20th also at noon. And Jess Parks 308 recommended it. She said it was tough, but loved it, just like always. That's basically how all Robins are, tough but amazing.
And then I wanted to do this one. So Susie Chan, I got to tell you, I take my hat off to all our 60-minute runners. And Chris Giles, who is our producer, recommended this one. And I got to tell you, hats off to you, Chris. I know you earned a PR, as did many others. Chris said was much like Power Zone on the bike with intervals at tempo race, followed by a short 90-second break. Many people PR'd in it, and according to the Peloton Studios London control room, they said it was possibly the best playlist they had heard.
Wow.
That they had ever heard. I know, the time flew by. So that was a 60-minute intervals run from the 20th. It was at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I know Chris actually reached out to me and he goes, "Hey, are you doing Susie's run?" I'm like, "Oh, no. I don't know if the 60 minutes intimate. I have done it before, and Chris had gotten me to do one of her 60 minutes before, but I think it may be one that I'm going to have to do because it did sound like it was awesome."
I mean, maybe I'll do it and I'll just like walk because running is not my friend at that long of period of time. That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
I'm getting there.
All
I'm
right.
getting there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what Peloton does, right? It turns us into runners, athletes, things that we never thought we would be. So that's what's so cool about it, right?
Exactly.
All right. So we've got another Def Leppard. I'm going to be busy this week. Sam Yo, 30-minute Def Leppard ride on the 20th at 3. So lots of people recommended this actually, and I'm going to probably butcher all of y'all's names. So I apologize in advance, but Pro Voldemort, Fixin' 1, Elk WK, Spinderella 69 _spins. So Phil Colleen was on the live ride. How exciting. Sam always seems to be sneaky about asking for a lot while smiling and before you know it, that calm smiling man is making you put out major wattage. I sang every song. As will I. So awesome. Fun. Love it.
That's awesome. And then last up, folks, I know there were lots this week, but Hannah Corbin, a 30-minute dance music bar class. Thank you so much for submitting this. And it was from, oh my goodness, Katurn maybe? Katem. I'm so sorry if I've butchered that. RN. Oh, you see, and I even have my glasses on. So KETRN. So maybe Kate RN. All right. Anyway, they said Hannah is great, but it felt like being back in dance class in the best way. And I am feeling those muscles today. Love a good bar class. It was on the 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And it was 30 minutes. So there are lots. I know that Chris Lewis has been really good about trying to put those out there for everybody. So for those of you that are listening on podcast, you can certainly go over to pelobuddy.com or the Instagram page or Facebook and get to see all these classes. There were so many this week, but we love it. We love that you folks are giving us, more to work with. I'm very, humble in saying I have my favorites, and it's hard for me to go out and do other classes. So I love now that we're getting a beautiful array of so many different modalities as well as instructors that we can share with you guys. So
I love it. And let's challenge ourselves, Amanda. Let's challenge ourselves. This week, we're going to take one new person. Okay. Pinky swear. Pinky swear. We can do it.
I pinky swear.
We can do it.
I think that maybe that Camila ride, I may do that. There was one that I saw on there. So maybe I've never worked out. So with her. So maybe that's something that I will do this week for sure. Well, I ventured out, and I've now got Benny on my repertoire of instructors that I use, and those are in German. And you know what? I love it. So
that's
awesome. You do have to just venture out a little bit and do it. Jackie,
this was so fun.
You were amazing. I had no doubt that you wouldn't be amazing, but you were amazing, and it was really fun to be able to do this with you.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been such a fun experience. Like I told you guys before we started, I do a little podcast, but it's nothing like this because I record it in my car on my phone. So this is so fun. It's such a learning experience. I know. Goodness.
More professional, but
I love it. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. You guys are off next week. Hopefully you have a fantastic vacation. So John gets back and then turns around and you guys leave.
Yep. That's the hope, that everything's on time. We're putting abundance in the universe. It will all work out.
All right. Super. Well, hopefully you guys have a wonderful time. We will have another guest host next week. So you're going to need to tune in if you want to see it. I want to see them. I won't even give away whether it's a guy or a girl. But I just almost did. They are fantastic. And I'm excited that folks wanted to be a part of the show and be a part of reporting the news. And look, we're just here to have fun. We just want to share stuff with you. We all have our own personalities and our own things that we love to share. So always fun to have you guys join along. So from me, I wish you all an amazing week. You, Jackie, have a safe holiday, and see you all on the leaderboard. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.